right now to a sexual assault case heading to the Michigan Supreme Court, and it could set a legal precedent for how future sexual assault cases are handled in our state. Brian McLean alleges he was sexually abused by a Catholic priest in the Lansing Diocese back in 1999 when he was a minor. But the Catholic Church is arguing that his claims are past the statute of limitations, despite a change in the law in 2018. 7 Action News reporter Sarah Michaels is breaking down how a ruling from Michigan's highest court will likely affect other sexual abuse victims in our state.
This case is complicated and extremely important. What happens to Brian McLean's sexual assault case may decide if other victims of sexual assault in Michigan have a case in court.
Confession ultimately is what was supposed to be going on.
In 1999, Brian McLean says he was a minor attending W.J. Maxey Boys Training School in Whitmore Lake when he was sexually abused multiple times by Father Richard Lobert.
What had happened is I had spoke with him about something that I had done as a juvenile, and I wanted to repent for it, and he ultimately used that against me.
According to McLean, the abuse sent him into a deep depression. He isolated himself for years, and 21 years later, in 2020, told a therapist about the abuse for the first time. He then filed a lawsuit against Lobert and the Roman Catholic Diocese of Lansing on April 6, 2021. The diocese argued his case was past Michigan's statute of limitations.
82.9% did not report any of the rapes they experienced during childhood. Let me say that again. 83% of people don't report.
The big question now is McLean's case past Michigan's statute of limitations or not? In 2018, in reaction to the Larry Nassar trial, Michigan amended the statute of limitations, making it broader. The amendment allows people to bring a suit for sexual assault of a minor forward until the age of 28, or up until 3 years after connecting the assault to the trauma. McLean's suit was originally filed in Livingston County Circuit Court, where the judge ruled in McLean's favor. The Catholic Diocese then escalated the case to Michigan's Court of Appeals, where the panel ruled in the diocese's favor. McLean's team is now escalating the case to Michigan's Supreme Court.
This is a big, big deal. This is a big case for our Supreme Court.
Attorney Todd Flood says how the Supreme Court rules on McLean's case will likely set the precedent for how the court hears others who come forward about sexual abuse. In his opinion, the law is clear.
This gentleman discovered his injury through his therapist. He had 3 years from that time to file his lawsuit. And that's what the plain language of the statute says.
Richard Lobert resigned as the chaplain from Gabriel Richard High School in Ann Arbor in 2021. McLean's team says they believe there are other victims out there.
Complete transparency. People need to know about these things.
In Southfield, Sarah Michaels, 7 Action News.
Well, Johnson Law says they estimate oral arguments will happen sometime in the next 6 months. We did reach out to the Diocese of Lansing for comment this morning. We have not yet heard back.